I want to talk today about how we can use movement and awareness and the body to get in touch with our emotional state. And when that emotional state is really peaking, how we can do something about it through the body, ease things down or ramp things up depending on the moment. And really it needs to be something practical that you can do right then and there, doesn't it? For it to be really usable. So that's where we'll go. Something we often neglect to do when we're feeling uncomfortable is just to take a moment to sit quietly and tune in. This is the most important thing. The body will always tell you the truth. Disengaging from the thinking and processing and trying to figure out and changing gears and just picking up what your internal sensations are. Perhaps you have a feeling in the pit of your stomach, butterflies or tension, holding. Perhaps your heart's racing. Perhaps you can feel heat rising. What does your throat feel like? Is it constricted and tight? Tune in and just feel, not trying to change any of it, just pick up the signals. If you can listen to your body like this and gauge how intense it is, where is it? If it's not very intense and you think you can just tap into your breathing to calm down, fantastic. You can do a lot through just calming yourself through breathing. Simply reducing the rate of your breathing and the depth, slowing down and getting your breath more even and slow. Breathing in for say 4 seconds and breathing out for longer, 6, 7 or 8 seconds. That sort of pattern will do you the world of good and help to bring your level of arousal down and settle you physically and emotionally, mentally. But if the feeling inside the body is very intense, there's a lot of arousal, wound up feeling, sometimes it's important to move the body, and working with the body can help you get to a point where the breathing's much more effective. Something that you can do anywhere, whether you're at home on your own or in a busy office, somewhere you can't leave right away, you might be around other people, you're peaking, you don't want to draw attention to yourself, you just want to deal with your level of anxiety, for example, is just shift yourself forward on the seat, have your feet flat on the ground. So try to sit up quite straight, and then this is all about activating the body and getting some muscle tension happening. Might seem counterintuitive, but give it a go. If you push down really firmly through the soles of your feet onto the ground, and also press down onto your legs with your hands, really strongly, trying to get lots of activation of the muscle groups all through the body. You might imagine passing this energy of the body down through your feet and into the earth, and then relax. Take a couple of breaths, and then try it again. Pressing down through the feet really strongly, down, pressing down through the hands onto the legs, tensing through the abdominals, legs, glutes, arms, everywhere, and then relax. And just breathe naturally. It's a really good method, this activation and then letting go. Another thing I like to do is use the big muscle grips of the legs. And I sort of think about this as giving voice, if you like, or giving a bodily movement to that feeling internally of a lot of energy and you know, whether it be frustration or anxiety or stress, whatever it is. So if you can just do simple things. It might be under your desk at work. It might be just as you're sitting there in your living room on your couch, but you can just push out really strongly, tense up your leg muscles. Maybe depending on if that's comfortable, you can sit back in the chair too as you push your legs out. That's too much of a stretch on the poor old hamstrings, but just really tensing the thigh muscles. And also another way is to vibrate. And you notice some people do this. I notice a lot of young guys do this. And I think there's something to it that if you do it consciously, I mean, you don't want to sit here and vibrate like this and make everyone else feel tense in a group setting, but if you can do it at home when you're on your own or under the desk so that no one can see you and not make other people feel like, if you're doing it consciously, it's got a different, whole different energy to it. But vibration, jiggling, you can do it with the arms as well. Just get some blood going through the body, give that tension and anxiety sort of a physical reality. And once again, then just stop. And of course, if you've got the room, stand up and move around, even better. Go for a brisk walk, go up the stairs and back down a couple of times. Things like squats, getting some glutes and quads in there, some big energetic movements, squeezing the quads and glutes on the way back up, maybe some big movements to open up the chest and warm up the body, things like that. You can even do the old shake that we're doing in the seat on the feet. And similarly, once you relax and stop, feeling and enjoying that, then let go. It helps to follow some lively movements like that with some quiet sitting. Perhaps visualise a relaxing scene like this one and return to that breathing pattern for calming. Little breaths in, long breaths out, always through the nose, nice and quiet, just to remind the system to stay calm. Finally, sometimes, rather than ramping down, we need to ramp up. Have you been in that situation where you've been sitting a lot, in one position perhaps for too long, looking at a screen for too long? You could be feeling lethargic, you could be feeling like, I can't be bothered. Sort of, we get this from time to time, and we need to actually get things moving, get our mood up, elevate a little bit. So some of the techniques are actually similar, but some are different. With the breathing, for example, if we need to increase our state of arousal, we can actually do breathing in the opposite direction as for calming, and that is breathing more rapidly, deeply, and the in-breath is a longer phase than the out-breath. You can even breathe in and out through the mouth, and that will also increase adrenaline and arousal. You'll find 3 or 4, 5 or 6 breaths like that, and your state will come up a little bit. Also, moving, big movements with the body, like we demonstrated before, can actually help to wake up and increase arousal as well, especially if you've been sitting too long. So, strangely, moving seems to be the answer to everything. That's my recommendation for the day. Dogs know how to do it. Totally at peace one moment, absolutely ready for action and alert the next. Still got a long way to learn to be like them.